Right.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tenda webinar. We are live. I just want to make sure that everyone can see my screen. I'm going to be sharing the presentation with you. I did just want to introduce myself. That's not me, the person that you're currently looking at. That's my colleague Felix. He's the better looking version of me. And he's my colleague from Tenda. Felix and I have a long-standing relationship. We have been working together for many, many months in order to grow Tenda within not just Mira, but within the South African context. And wow, what a journey it's been. Ever since we launched Tenda, it's just been helter-skelter. And I think looking back on this past year, and I think Felix will agree with me, is that we've managed to find the ideal last mile home routing solution for ISPs. And essentially that's what Tenda is. And Tenda, their main core is they want to create a better networking experience for everyone. But ideally, ladies and gentlemen, the products that you choose from Mira are aimed at empowering you to connect more communities. And if anyone that was on the previous webinar with me, we were speaking about Splinks, and we were talking about how software can help increase your network performance and help you minimize the maintenance cost. But I think what I'm most excited about today is to introduce to those that don't know, obviously Tenda. But I just wanted to introduce my colleague Felix. Would you like to say a word or two? I will obviously open up the floor for you towards the end of the webinar. I just wanted everyone to see who you are, know what you look like, and then we'll hop into the presentation as soon as you finish your opening words.
Okay. Thank you, Ran, and welcome to everyone to this online conference. We really appreciate your interest and the support to Tenda. So, Ran, please first do the presentation, and then I will give you the additional introduction after that.
Okay, thanks, Felix. If I can just maybe ask you to unshare your webcam, and then I'll hop straight into the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop straight into it. I see we've got a nice jam-packed webinar. We're going to be hopping straight into Tenda. The main point of today's webinar is just to look at the range of different value-adding products that Tenda has within its repertoire, and to basically explain why do these products aim to empower service providers. Because ultimately, if it can do it for a more affordable price while maintaining quality, then it's a smart decision. It's not a cheap decision, it's a smart decision. Unfortunately, from our personal experience, what we've seen in terms of Tenda's growth has been astronomical. It's because service providers are very happy with these home routers, because essentially what starts happening, ladies and gentlemen, is that the more your network grows, so does your customer acquisition cost. Remember, we were explaining that previously in our Splinks webinar. You want to try and keep your customer acquisition cost to a moderate level, not letting it spike so much. And if you just think about how do we sign up new customers, they're going to have to get a router. There's only one way to do that, DHCP dial-up. To establish that triple PoE, you got to have a physical piece of hardware inside the client's premises that's connected either through to their wireless backbone and or fiber. And ideally, it's going to be a Tenda, and we're going to explain why. Felix, if I could maybe just ask you to just mute your mic. There's a little bit of static coming through there. Thanks. So let's go straight into it. So we're going to be looking at a little bit of a company overview, some of the advantages and some best case scenarios. So what is the mission behind Tenda? It's to ensure that every mobile device that connects to the internet connects easily, safely, and is stable in order to experience a better networking connection. What is the vision? To provide a reliable network to satisfy the growing market demands, because the market is growing, ladies and gentlemen. I think this whole pandemic, the reason why we're doing this conference online has proved to everyone how not just the fact that we need internet, everyone knew that we needed internet, but how much internet do we need now? So specifically, if we look at this conference, for instance, this would have been a conference that you would have paid to come and attend inside a very jam-packed location such as the Vodacom Dome. But now you're not needing to do that, because the social distancing rhetoric has forced us all to maintain our distance. So what that does is that we become more reliant on our internet and specifically our infrastructure. But now what started to happen is you start going inside the house, and that one connection device, that one home router that connected to your TV and your DSTV and maybe one or two smartphone devices has completely evolved. We like to use the word revolutionize, because essentially what started happening as soon as lockdown began, you had that one home connection now servicing 4 to 5 different people. I mean, apart from having everyone within the household, you maybe still have the domestic, or you have, you know, people within the garden cottage, and everyone now physically staying home. And now that 10 megs is being shared amongst 4 to 5 different people, all with their fluctuating variances in internet use. So now what starts happening is you've got dad who's doing his online conferencing, you've got mom who's doing her online shopping, you've got daughter and son that are doing their online teaching and online learnings, and plus you've got a domestic, or you've got people within the cottage area that are now also doing some form of video conferencing. So that 10 meg line became redundant, useless overnight. And what that led to is it led to a lot of home users starting to increase capacity and increasing their line speeds. But there's no point in having a tunnel that's bigger if your car can only go 60 k's an hour. So you've got this beautiful tunnel, and you can hit up to speeds of 200 megabits per second, but your vehicle can only hit 40 k's an hour. That's not what you're going to need. You're going to need to find a product that is going to help you fully utilize your capacity, and not just in terms of the amount of capacity, but coverage. Ladies and gentlemen, oftentimes coverage is just that last thing we think about. Sure, we like complaining about our network speeds, but the thing we complain about more is actually coverage. And as I will go to a bit further down in the presentation, Tenda has a fantastic range of meshable nodes that are so easy to connect. My aunt can do it, and my aunt, I don't want to shout any profanities, but not the most technical person in the whole world. She didn't even need my help setting it up. She bought it, installed it, and she phoned me and she sent me the screen tests. And that was enough proof that I needed to know that this is the home user's brand. It's a brand for the home user, and it's a brand for South Africans. But before I continue, let's get a bit further into it. So headquarters based in Felix's hometown of Shenzhen within China. Manufacturer centers located all over Eastern Asia. This is a little bit of their flex card. So over 160 customer service stations, over 3,500 employees, over 2,500 factory employees, 600 research and developers. These guys are the real deal. They're not just some mom and pop shop that's hoping to enter the South African market to make a quick buck. They are a growing, established enterprise business that has been delivering quality products to ISPs for many, many years. They are to be taken very seriously, and that is why their brand has seen so much success, because our customers trust them to deliver on their word. As you can see, our global distribution network, we're that little boy over there. We form part of a global chain. We're very proud to be part of this chain. It's almost like it's a router club. You know, it's a top tier router club, and Miro has been awarded the opportunity to not just join Tenda, but the hundreds of distributors around the world that have got the amazing opportunity to partner with this brand. So the product family, the nice thing about Tenda, ladies and gentlemen, is that the products have got a direct focus to a specific niche. You've got USB Wi-Fi adapters, you've got LTE mobile dongles, you've got range extenders, you've got PoE switches, unmanaged, managed, 10 by 100 gigabit, layer 2, layer 3. You've got home routers, you've got meshable nodes, pretty much anything that requires a network connection that is accessed via an internet device. Tenda has the right product for you in the right price range. So let's look at some of the advantages behind Tenda. As you can see, this is a very cool slide, so we're going to talk about some very cool stuff. So high gain antennas. Why does this make Tenda more appealing? Well, the fact that Tenda's antennas produce larger gain means that they can cover larger distances, which means that that coverage that became a problem during lockdown is just mitigated, boom, like that. By simply replacing your router with a Tenda device, you're going to increase not just the performance of your network, but the reach as well. So when your friends come over after lockdown and you have a very legal beer, you're going to be able to say to them, guys, let's watch some sport while we're outside. And they're going to say, how is this possible? We could never get connections this far. And you say, well, I'm using a high gain Tenda router, that's why. All right, high-powered amplifiers. Everyone's got walls, ladies and gentlemen. Every house has walls. If it doesn't have a wall, I don't know how it's standing up. But essentially, we need to be able to get through those walls. And that is what a Tenda router does. Because of the high gain antennas and because it operates on both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, these bands enable the connection to deliver through strong concrete, metal, steel walls, beams, so that you can enjoy an uninterrupted connection in every corner of your home, be it your study, be it your movie house, be it your braai area, wherever you are in your house. Utilizing the correct Tenda products will help you penetrate through any physical barriers such as walls. All right, I think this is pretty standard amongst most top-tier brands. So the ability to have 2.4 and 5 gigahertz enables us to penetrate through walls on 2.4, but also enables us to go a bit further in terms of 2.5. So essentially, you as a service provider, you just need to consider for yourself, okay, what product am I going to use for most of my installs? From what we've seen, customers love standardizing. You've got to have an 802.11 device because not everyone's going to have gigabit worth of speeds or even above 10 megs. I mean, you've still got customers that believe that all they need is 4 megs. And trust me, that's sometimes all that they need. If you are managing your network correctly and you're using the proper firewalling and TCP acceleration methods that are at your disposal through Miro, you can turn a 4 megabit connection into a proper operating 10 megabit line, all through the utilization of value-adding software such as TCP acceleration and the like. All right, so obviously beamforming enables us to connect through to IoT devices. So for anyone in the room, an IoT device is a piece of hardware that can connect to the internet. So essentially your smartphone is an IoT device. And what a beamforming antenna does, it helps disperse the wireless signal directionally through to the IoT device that is obviously connecting through to the home router. Just making sure that you're connected all the time, because nothing's worse when I'm phoning my sister and she's all the way in Amsterdam and we're having a lovely chat about the weekend, and then I move over into the next room and then all of a sudden my connection drops. I do not want that to happen. We need beamforming plus routers that can enable us to be mobile around our home Wi-Fi without dropping the call, because no one likes to drop call. MU MIMO technology, I think the important thing about MU MIMO is that it was ready for us, ladies and gentlemen. I think if MU MIMO was still one of those approaching technologies, lockdown would have been a lot harder for all of us, not just in South Africa, but around the world. Because as I was explaining to you initially, is that home Wi-Fi connection that was maybe just used as a dial-up for your DSTV or your one Netflix account was now being dispersed through to everyone that lived in the home. So essentially what you had is you had Sarah that was doing her online homework while streaming YouTube. You had Jessica that was watching Netflix while texting her friends or doing a WhatsApp video call. Then you had Dad that was doing his video conferencing, Mom doing online shopping. All of these stereotypical family roles, they all needed to use the internet at the same time. Simultaneously is the word that is used. And MU MIMO technology enables us to have a concurrent set of connections all established at once without affecting network quality. And I think that's very important, ladies and gentlemen. Easy installation. If anyone heard of plug and play, that's all you got to do is plug it and play it. That's how easy this installation is. I've done it myself. You don't even need to access the guided user interface. Just plug it in and see how it rolls. The smartphone app management, I think this is very valuable because, again, it helps you manage your device anytime, anywhere. And this app is super user-friendly, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I had an instance with my aunt before lockdown, pre-COVID, PC. She was looking at improving her Wi-Fi at home because essentially she just had one ADSL connection and so on and so forth. I said, nah, Mish, you got to up that. You got to take out that ADSL, put in the fiber. And then once she had the fiber, it was going very well, but only if they were in the one room. And then I said, oh, I've got the perfect product for you. It's the Tenda Nova range. And the Tenda Nova range is basically a set of 3 devices that are prepaid that you can place anywhere within your home that just creates one mesh network. And what's one mesh network? That's one SSID, ladies and gentlemen. So that's your device not needing to connect to that AP's SSID or that AP's SSID. There's one SSID and complete coverage. And essentially, the beautiful part about the story is that I did not tell her how to do it. She didn't even contact support. I thought that I was going to have to go onto site. I was going to have to fly down to Durban and help her set it up. She showed me how to set it up, essentially. And I think that that was proof enough for me that this is the desired product for home use because of its easy management. And in terms of acquiring more nodes, all you got to do is pair it to your smartphone, add it onto your network, and you've just got more coverage. Okay, cool. So Wi-Fi scheduling. So this is this is for anyone that struggles to sleep with lights on in their room. I know I am one. I actually disable all lights within my room, all forms of power, electricity. It's a dungeon in there. And essentially what you can do is if you have a device that is located within your room or within a adjacent room that has got an LED, you can schedule the Wi-Fi and say, okay, listen, for specific times during the night, I do not want to establish a DHCP connection. I just want the device to be sitting idly, doesn't have to run any form of authentications, and essentially you can sleep just as peacefully as this young lady is sleeping right here, completely in dreamland. All right, so we are now getting towards the end of our slideshow. I think this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to breeze through because what I've tried to just explain is who Tenda's for and what it does. As you can see, Tenda is for the home user. So if you're an ISP, Tenda is for you because essentially it's going to help you lower your customer acquisition costs. It's going to help you connect more customers seamlessly because they're not going to have any difficulties because it's super easy to set up and super easy to use. I know some ISPs, they want to have full autonomy over the network speeds, but what's nice about Tenda is that it gives the customer the ability to manage their own network, do things like parental control. So now what's happening is it's a lot more challenging to control kids who are connecting to the internet, but through specific scheduling of your Wi-Fi, you can enable a time slot that says between this time and this time, this IP address cannot connect through to the internet. So Jessica's tablet will not be able to access Facebook or Instagram, and she can only access these portals, which are her educational portals, which means that she's not going to end up on the street. She's going to get herself a good education, get a good job, and start empowering South Africa to connect more communities. That's her future because of good, stable Wi-Fi. So I think we'll just go through a little bit of the products. As I said to you, Tenda is very specific. We've got 802.11.3n routers. We've got 802.11ac routers. We've got PoE switches, network devices. We've got amplifiers. We've got extenders. And of course, we've got meshable nodes. Any and everything that could be used to connect on the last mile for a home user, Tenda has got access to, and at a very, very affordable price. I'm going to breeze through this. I would like to actually open the floor up to my colleague Felix, who I've overshadowed through most of this presentation. I apologize, Felix. You know how enthusiastic I get about Tenda. I talk about Tenda for days, best brand ever. But I'm going to now open the floor up to you, and I just want us to go through to this last page, see how much value Tenda has. Look how many slides there are. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, what I'll also offer to everyone within this specific webinar is the opportunity to maybe do a customized webinar just for the Tenda prospects. And maybe what we can do is we can spend a bit more time together. You can ask your questions because we are a bit thin for time. And I do want to give my colleague Felix a little bit of airtime. But if everyone can see this beautiful barcode that is on their screen, please scan this barcode so that you can stand a chance to win one of those Novas. So essentially you stand a chance to having the best Wi-Fi within your friend and family network, which gives you bragging rights. Now I want you to be able to brag. I want you to be able to say that you got the best home Wi-Fi ever. So please, please, please scan this barcode. I will include a link in the chat section, but Felix, over to you for any type of comments or closing statements.
Okay, thank you, Ran. Thank you for your presentation. And also, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this online conference. So now I will have some additional presentation on Tenda brand. As you know, Tenda is a global brand. We have more than 20 years in this industry. Now we are the global leading brand in the networking solutions industry. Currently, we have 30 plus branches in the global market, and we have more than 200 distributors all over the world. In South Africa, Miro is also one of our top distributors in South Africa. And except Miro, we also have the Scoop and TVR. For Tenda, we have a wide range of the solutions and products. We have the broadband Wi-Fi connectivity solutions, the home routers, the 4G routers, the switches, and the advanced mesh Wi-Fi, and the switches, the outdoor transmission CPs, and the base stations. We have the wide range of the solutions, and we provide the most affordable and the stable and reliable performance and easy setup solutions to all the ISPs and the system integrators. Our slogan is one to make the solutions we can use anywhere, anytime, plug and play. And also in the South Africa channel, now we have a good partner program. We want to get our partners work closely with Tenda brand and with our distributors. We have the partner program. We mainly have the cashback program. You spend more on Tenda, you will earn more money. We have the training, we have the marketing, and we have the technical support for all the partners. And we have all kinds of the marketing activities in the channel. We will have the roadshow, the online conference, the webinar, and also the trainings like this ipcon and the My Broadband. These events we will participate and bring more value and solutions to our partners. Also, in this period, we also want to emphasize our targets. We want to provide a better network to the South Africa, to provide a good solution and modern technology to our citizens. During this coronavirus period, I think we can provide more convenience and applications to your family, to our companies, with a stable network for the home business, for the entertainment, for the latest update of the situation, get the latest news for everything. So we hope we can provide a better solution from the Tenda's technical side, and also with the efforts in the channel partners, we build a good technology country in the South Africa. And also today's short conference, we will follow up all our partners after this event, and all our sales team and Miro's Chronicles team. We will follow your request and give your support. And also after this conference, we will share our contact, the website, the email address. If you have any questions, requests, and you want to know about Tenda, we are very happy to contact you. Thank you.
Right.
This is a brief interview of the Tenda.
All right, Felix, thank you very much for those words. It's always an honor and a privilege to have you here. I do say that your presence has been missed in South Africa. I know that you've been north ever since lockdown has ensured, and I just want you to know that we're very excited to have you back, and I'm sure all of our partners are very excited to have you back so that we can bring Tenda to the masses. So thank you very much for your words. Thank you for joining us. And yes, everyone, I would like to say, fortunately, unfortunately, this is the end of our Tenda presentation. Thank you all that joined. if you can please look in the comment section, I have added the URL link to the prize raffle so that if you access this specific link, you stand a chance to win a meshable Wi-Fi node. And also what I've done, ladies and gentlemen, is I've added my email address into the chat. It's very easy, Ryan D for danger @ miro.co.za. Any and all Tenda related queries can come through to me, and I'll make sure I get through to them as soon as possible. But I'd like to invite everyone that is in this webinar to join me in the following webinar in room 1. We're going to be discussing Radwin, a top wireless broadband infrastructure provider. I'm really looking forward to that webinar, so please make sure that you head over to the next webinar. Thank you, Felix. Thank you, participants. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you in the next one.